Welcome to the Fit2 Perform Podcast.
You just found the #1 health and fitness podcast for performers, baby.
You found it.
At least we found ourselves funny. And you're listening to a guest episode during which we discuss the realities of a career in the performing arts with people who are fit to talk about them.
Yeah, we do. And if you like what we do, please leave us a review. Or on Spotify, click that follow button.
Click it. If you like our meaningful, helpful and accurate information too, then maybe you might want to be coached by us. If so, our online coaching service, Fit2 Perform, might be for you.
Yeah, you can find out more information over on Instagram at Fit2 Perform West End or on our website, fit-2.co.uk. I think I said tash, not dash.
You did. I don't know
Fit-2.co.uk.
Let's move on from that. We have an incredible guest for you today.
Oh boy, we do. As a performer, their credits include Cats, Spamalot, Footloose, Annie Get Your Gun, and many, many more.
So many more. Please enjoy, now an old friend of mine, I've known him for a very long time, the graciously gifted Graham Newell. It's fit to talk. Under the table. I don't know what even.
Fit enough to get under the table.
I'm just about like functioning.
I can get under, I promise.
How long have you been?
Year and a half.
Year and a half.
Yeah.
I saw you. I didn't know you were doing that until I bumped into you outside Time Traveler's Wife, which obviously Bobby was in.
Yeah.
And then you were like, "I'm doing this now," and I was like, "What?"
Yeah.
How did that actually? I mean, life-wise, we'll get to that point in a moment. But like, how did that come about?
Honestly, it got to a point where I needed a senior job. I was doing head of department work in other places. I was at Trinity Laban doing a lot of that stuff, and then Trinity Laban couldn't give me a full-time salary. I loved it there as well, which is a shame. But I needed a salary to get a house and the rest of it. And then was looking at those jobs. I was applying at a couple of different places at the same time, thinking, I'll throw it out there and see what happens. And then I actually it was really successful. I had 3 places I was interviewing for at the same time. And the way that they sold the job to me was interesting.
So, to jump back a fair few beats, I should say. How did the story of your life... Oh, actually, before we do that,
yes.
I've only forgotten to do this once before, actually. Yeah. At some point during this podcast, would you be willing to tell us a lie?
Yeah, I'm going to try and remember to, yes.
Yes, it's difficult.
That's half the battle.
So I'm just so pure and innocent. Is that why it's difficult? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, I don't believe that you'll be able to, Graham.
Thank you very much.
Is that good acting?
Very good.
Yes.
Well done.
When you ask for a note. So for people listening to this as their first episode, we ask every guest to tell a lie, and at the end we will try and guess if you have successfully lied, and if so, what we think it is, and we ask the listeners to do the same. So at some point in general conversation, and don't worry, it will be revealed at the end.
Okay.
We won't let people go off thinking that some dramatic thing is true when it isn't. Happy with that?
Oh, thrilled. Absolutely.
Bloody marvellous.
Bring it
on. In that case, then, how does the story of your life begin?
The story of my life, how does it begin? So it begins with Lynn and Martin, 2 young people, in Reading at university, falling in love. Very lovely. And then my dad persuading my mum to move up to Shropshire. She's still never forgiven him. Absolutely not forgiven him about that. So then she moved up to Shropshire, having grown up in Battersea. So she was like a proper London kid. You only notice that now when she's on the phone to family and it comes out, and it's kind of amazing to see, because otherwise she's quite well spoken. So they moved up to Shropshire, and then my mum because she was angry about being there, then dragged her family up. So my uncle came up with his wife, Leslie, and they then pulled up their mum. So we've now got in Shropshire a little bunch of Shropshirites and some Londoners. Okay. Not long after moving there, they had my brother. And then 5 years later, they were like, we need more chaos. This isn't enough. Let's have another one. And then I arrived.
And you were a very calm child who did nothing wrong ever.
So calm. So calm. I was like a Labrador all the time. And my mum actually pulled a photo out the other day that's hilarious, because it's obviously it's a long time ago, so the photo is grainy because, old at this point. But it's a photo of us all, a class of us all sat there, and everyone was looking very serious and very sensible. And I am there with the biggest smile on my face. The ears were even bigger then because I hadn't quite grown into them to this point. We're still not getting there yet, but big ears, big forehead, big smile, looking like I was having the best day of my life. Everyone else looks normal. I look bonkers. I look absolutely bonkers. And was that kid all the time. My granddad, hilariously, used to say regularly, my brother talks in sleep really badly, always has. And we went on a holiday with him when we were kids, and he was like, I can't fucking deal with this anymore. I've got Graham talking all day long, and then Matthew all through the night. I'm not sleeping. I'm not coming on holiday ever again. So yeah, it was that kind of energy with us. But really close family. Me and my brother are so different. He's really kind and really calm. I'm less calm.
I love
He's really kind.
I'm so different. He's kind.
He's kind and calm. Yeah, he's a really wonderful human being. But we are like polar opposites. Very close. Didn't ever really argue because we couldn't be bothered. We were those kids that would like sit on other sofas and maybe throw a cushion and then be like, it's over. We're through it. Not remotely theatrical. He's a paramedic, so he's like saving the world that way. And then I was bouncing around, singing, dancing, whacking a leg, trying to burn off energy. Yeah. And then I must have been about 9 or 10 and was getting a bit podgy, a bit of a podgy kid. And mum and dad were like, well, you know, he's got a lot of energy. Let's push him somewhere and get rid of it. So they sent me off to tennis first of all. I came home from tennis the first day. Burst into tears.
Loves tennis,
I do love
tennis.
tennis.
Do you?
Yeah.
I wish I did. I do now. At that point, I burst into tears, went home. Mum was like, why? What happened? Do you want to go back? And I was like, I'm not going back. She was like, why? I was like, because the big girl bullied me the whole way through, told me I was shit. So I didn't go back to tennis, gave that up. Then they put me in.
Where's that big girl now, eh?
Oh, she's probably like turned into Steffi Graf or something stupid like that. She was probably totally right. Yeah. The big-eared kid is running around and ruining the game. Get off. And I did. And then they put me into Latin American ballroom classes in town. And it was like this lovely, tiny little studio, wobbly floor above, like Shrewsbury is black and white buildings where I'm from. So it's like everything's a bit wonky, beautiful, a bit wonky and a bit medieval. So I was in this dance studio above like a sandwich shop. And my dance teacher was a woman called Pat. Fantastic older woman, had a cane and was very much like exactly what you want from a dance teacher. And she used to go into a little office and had a microphone and she would go, and now a waltz. And then we would be outside and we would waltz away. And now a samba and we would all samba outside. And it was all very bizarre. But she liked to drink, whether that be 10 a.m., whether that be 2 p.m., whether that be 7 p.m.
I respect
liked a bit
it.
of drink. Absolutely. Like,
Yeah.
I now understand what that is. It's called a coping mechanism, and that's totally fine. Totally okay. She would sit there, and you would just hear sipping over the microphone. And as the day went on, she would slur more. So you'd be like, aha, let's do a jive. I don't know. Let's keep it going. So kind of fell in love with dance in that way. Really fun, really sociable, lovely bunch of people. And then a panto came up in Shrewsbury, and they were asking everyone around to audition for it. And I kind of went, yeah, I'll go along. Mum and Dad literally. Anything that we were like, can we try it? They would go, yeah, go and try it. As long as you commit, we'll see how it feels. Went to this audition to be Tommy the Cat in Dick Whittington and booked it. Yes. And then all the other dancers in the panto were from a dance school in Telford, like 20 minutes down the road. And I kind of fell in love with them. They were these like really vibrant, lovely people. The parents were all really glorious as well. And at the end of the panto, when it was time to finish, I turned to Mum and Dad and was like, look, the girls have said they think I should go and have a dance with them in Telford. Can we do it? And Mum was like, yeah, definitely. Let's go and give it a go then. Fine. If you want to do this, fantastic. Took me over to Telford, did my first like jazz class, came out, burst into tears, which apparently was something I did quite regularly. Mum was like, no, sorry, you're going back next week. Like, let's try it. We're not having another tennis fiasco. Go back. So went back the following week and had the most glorious time, fell in love with it, and then just started picking up more classes, was doing jazz, tap, ballet, musical theatre bits and pieces, shows, festivals, and just totally fell in love. Met my best friend, who is still my best friend, and has now, I've got 3 goddaughters from her, who are now starting to dance as well. They're starting to dance as well, which is kind of amazing. And what's really funny is, when Nikki grew up, she was like, I'm not going to be a stage mum. That's not going to be what I am. Sure.
You don't get to decide.
Well, they were both really chilled. And again, like, the girls can go and try this out. Now the girls are competing. Nikki's terrible. Nikki's a proper stage mum, as expected. But her husband, Dan, It's even worse. It's absolutely incredible. I'm like, you both are out of control.
Oh,
it's just not good enough, Graham. She needs to do this and we need to do this. And now every so often, Uncle Graham gets pulled up to have a look at solos. And apparently they'll listen to me, but they won't listen to mum and dad. I'm like, that sounds about right.
I mean, look, my dad is an opera singer, right? And when I was a kid, like I was doing stuff and competing and things in that type of realm, but I could not take any word of advice from my dad until, I mean, I think I might even struggle now. But for the longest time, that was a no. But if you brought in anyone else, like my uncle, who also does the same thing, I would be like,
But why is that? Why do we do that? Because our parents are normally the people we trust the most, or the people we have the most genuine relationship with. So why do we struggle? It baffles me.
It's a really, really good question. I don't know. Now, I'd have no problem. I joke. I don't think I'd have any problem taking advice from my dad because I can, with perspective, I can see.
Yeah.
I think maybe it's just that you're like too close to that person.
Maybe it's at that point, like they are in control of every part of your life.
It's a good point.
And that one thing you kind of want to take a bit of control over. So then if somebody else is giving it, then it's fine. But it feels like it's all part of the same thing, maybe. Yeah.
And if they're stopping you from having extra pudding or like forcing you to eat your broccoli and then going, here's something about the thing that you love doing. You're like, leave me alone.
You can deal with the pudding. That's you. Everything else, no.
Yeah.
Where's my pudding?
Give me the pudding.
Yeah, you do. You kind of dissociate, don't you, and go, they're different things.
It's a great question, actually. I don't know why. When you asked it, I was like, I don't actually think I've ever considered the why of that.
Because we all do it. And it's something, whatever our relationship with our parents is, it always seems to be gaining information from those people is different than even if it's like an auntie and uncle or someone slightly more on the periphery. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm really close to my mum and dad, and actually, I would say they're my biggest. There's nothing I don't tell them, which I think sometimes my mum despairs about. Because when I say nothing, I mean like
she's in the corner weeping.
There's absolutely nothing I've done in my life, and I've always said to myself, if I'm too ashamed to tell my mum, don't do it. And I've done some truly. But no, we'll tell them anything. But even now, it's like our relationship is different, and we've had conversations many times actually about. One of the things that I think bugs her about me as an adult is language to me is really important. And I'm like an elephant. So if you speak to me about things, that's why I'm the worst person to be in a relationship with and argue with, because everything goes in and it stays there. And I'm pulling it apart the second it goes into my brain. At work and in relationships, actually. But because I tie onto language so much, there are certain things that I really struggle with. So, for example, I had to have a conversation with her a couple of years ago because I was having a really rough time across the board, actually. And she would say to me, as my biggest ally, she would say to me, what you need to do is, and the second I heard what you need to do is, my back would go up and I was like, I am doing that. And actually that makes me feel like I'm not doing enough. And what sometimes I need you to do is go, you know what, this is just not fair and you're having a shit time and that's fine. The second what you need to do is, what she was doing was fantastic because she was actually going, you can gain control over this. And the situations that I was in, you can make a change. But we had to have a really serious conversation about it. And she's amazing because she's a really intelligent woman. And she was like, I get it. I don't necessarily always agree with that. And I think sometimes you're finding fault in. But if you're saying to me that isn't conducive for us having a good relationship, then cool. It is funny. Like, I obsess about words sometimes.
I'm the same. And I think I've mentioned this on the show before, and we've spoken about it too. A really good friend of mine I was doing a show with had an amazing way of addressing that, was to literally ask somebody when they were doing that, was to go, are you looking for support and an ear, or do you want my advice? And then it puts it on you to go, I actually just need you to be on my team for a second.
Yeah.
And then you can choose, right, to go, can you, like, rather than have to go, you're giving this not what I want from you right now.
Yeah.
Like and because whichever one you want, if you actually want advice and somebody's like, yeah, that sucks, you're like,
that's not helpful.
Okay, well, that just feels like you want to go for dinner and you can't be bothered to talk about this. And the flip side is like, I'm not in the solving it place. I want to complain about it. And having somebody to be able to go, hey, which one do you want, is like a nice little like moment breaker for you to go, oh fuck, actually, what do I want? find this one. Maybe arm her with that question.
Yeah.
There's some unwanted advice for
There
me.
you go.
But really useful, because it is, and you're right, I don't think sometimes we know what we want until you start on that rant. I know that I've got some incredible friends in my life, and all of them operate very differently with me. I will always be caregiver. I'll always be the person that goes, I'm nervous about you immediately. Some of those friends need to meet me and they need to get it out for 45 minutes. 10 years ago, I would go, oh God, I just want you to come up for air. But actually now I go, no, this is totally your process. And I know that at the end of that 45 minutes, you will turn around and go, either what do you think or, but how are you? Like, I can see that. Other friends will not do that until I then go, okay, stop and tell me what's actually going on. Like, we're doing this. What do you want to talk about? And again, I'm really lucky. I've got some very open, genuine friendships with people, and we talk a lot. We're all very cerebral people that will pull apart and will seek self-improvement. So we're all very good at going, is this me or is this someone else? And actually, I've got to say, I mean, a bit of a tangent, but kind of related. Interestingly enough, I am currently a single person. I know, who could guess? Why would I be single? I'm amazing. Not amazing. And I've started thinking about recently going through some stuff in life where I find myself spinning out, and I'm very good at self-managing normally. I will go, where's my perspective? Is this about them? Is this about me? What can I do to change the situation? Either way. I've been spinning a lot recently, and I think it's because I've been single for so long, I sit with the thought, and the only person that's going through that thought is me. And that's why I actually think there's something really healthy about having either a partner, hopefully, or family members or friends that you can throw it out at and go, this has happened today. I feel this way. Be honest. Is this me? Is this them? Now, family are very good at doing that. And I've got a couple of friends that are good at it and a couple of friends that innately want to protect me. So we'll just go, no, that's obviously them.
Yeah.
And then I'll go away and go, no, I was an arsehole. That was definitely, that was me making a big old fuck up there.
But if you know which friend is which, then you know what you want at the time. You go, I need to feel like I was in the right for a second. I'm going to go to friend A.
You know your process with the different friends.
Yes, if I want an actual honest outcome, I'll go to friend B. Fine.
Yeah. Inevitably, you'll get to the same place with whichever friend you go to. You'll get to that end point, but how you get there can be different.
Yes.
But it is interesting, I think, when you break that down and go, if you are independent and you are spinning around a thought, we're community beings, aren't we? That's what humans are. And if you do sit in that for too long, I think that's what burns you down. And to be honest, I think that's when mental health becomes trickier. And that's when anxiety kicks in, because nobody's saying stop. And sometimes what you need to do is go, you can have a tangent as much as you want, but at some point someone just needs to go, stop, gain your energy, and then redress that again.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I'm much better now at pulling myself apart and going, how do I do better in that situation? However, being in a stressful situation for the last 6 months to a year and being in a different mindset about that, I've had to really, really deeply remind myself and go, you need to stop talking now and throw it out somebody else.
I love this. And also, I love that you said that. And I didn't actually know this about you in that great detail. That's sort of how you process and do these things. Because me too, my brain, the way I take in information is through the language, and I will retain and fixate on it and pick it apart for hours afterwards. In a conversation that Bobby and I might have, the number of times I've texted you after we've left and been like, oh, I hope this didn't come across like I was being a dick, or like various little things, when you're like, and most of the time you're like, you basically don't even know what you're talking about.
Like, I tend to
you
just
said
go,
what?
Yeah. No. And sometimes you're like, no, that was fine, or no, this was, or whatever it might be. But you're like, yes, I'm the same, and it will sit with me. And I love that you will go back and go, hey, how do I manage this? Or like, is this me? Is that in that place? I think you're pretty good at being the objective one. Of going friend B in this instance, as we've described it, of being like, I don't know, dude, maybe you might want to look at that instead of like just constant support. I'm very used to, I don't know what your background is with family. You mentioned that they're really good at listening, but my family is almost always looking out for the fault or where the problem is.
Yeah. So
I am not used to having anyone that is just the support cheerleader type.
Yeah.
And so it's really, really unfamiliar to me. And my partner's family are mostly that. And it's so glorious to witness for her that, like, if she did a performance, like they're all coming out and her grandparents are like, you were the best thing I've ever seen in my life. And I'm like, oh wow, like nobody's ever.
But it's tricky though, isn't it? Because I think even on that side of things, that can have an implication as well.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, I've got a friend in my brain. It comes from a family where he's very, very well supported. And again, they tell him he's perfect all the time. He is terrible at self-growth because he's in a place where he's so used to going, yeah, but everything's fine and it's all good.
Yeah. And
actually, when it comes to kind of energizing him to be more ambitious or to ask for more or to work for more, he's not very good at that. Or that's unfair. He struggles with finding that himself.
Fair.
Great at being given that energy too, and will listen and change, but actually finding that himself he struggles with.
Yeah.
So I think either way, there's probably a lovely medium point. But I don't know what that looks like.
I think you need both, right?
Yeah.
Like you need, as you described, those friends that are going to, or family members or partner, whatever it is, that is going to be your cheerleader or cheerleaders, and you also need your arbiters, your judges to go, who are on your side but willing to call you out on your shit and to go, dude, it might be time to step it up a notch here. Like, what are you doing? I had a mate. I was in a relationship that was not a positive experience, but I couldn't see it. I was in it.
We never can.
And you're like, okay, and in hindsight, I'm like, it's insane that I was still in that thing, and I needed a friend to go, like, to force me to go for a drink and go, what the fuck are you doing? Like, this isn't you. You need to be out of this. Do you know what I mean? And you're like, oh crap. And I would describe myself the same way as you. Usually I think I would be able to see that and couldn't. And then, useful.
I think that's tricky as well, though, when you're in that situation, because a similar situation, I've been in 2 pretty terrible relationships. Both of them at the time. Yes, us. Aren't we lucky?
Is it like a bingo card? Like if you tick off enough?
Oh, yeah, I'll tick off enough by this point, I think.
Full house.
Yeah. But instead of shouting bingo, I just cry.
Yeah. That's how you win.
Yes, totally. Just drown in the tears. It's fine. No, it's but I think it's fascinating when you're in that situation because you do go, again, like, a lot of the people I'm closest to in my life are really empowered women, and they are very quick to turn around and go, come on, you're better than this. One of my best friends is, she's a softie, but actually on the outside, she's hard, and she will be very like, come on, no, that's not, you need to move on. This isn't right. And I need it. And especially, to be honest, I wouldn't take it from a lot of people. We've got enough of a relationship now where the trust is 100%, and she can say it to me. And actually, sometimes I just need her to go, okay. But you do, when you're in that situation, go, I know it's wrong sometimes, but I'm still willing to go along with it.
Yeah.
And you accept it because you go, this is what I deserve, which again, if we're unpacking it, that's tricky. And even when people are saying to you, this isn't right, and you're going, well, I understand what you're saying, but I can't pull myself out. Yeah. I do think that's where it is tricky.
I have a friend going through that right now, and it's really difficult to see because it reminds me so much of the sort of experience I went through, and not to go into their business, but it's really tough to watch. And that thing they say about putting a frog in boiling water, it'll jump out, but if you raise the temperature by a degree at a time, then it'll die. And it feels a little bit like that when it's like, it's obviously not awful straight away, and it just gets worse and worse and worse without you realizing, to a point when you're like, this is unrecognizable. And hopefully something shifts to get those people out of that scenario.
I've never heard that before, but that's perfect, isn't it? That literally is how you're accepting that behavior.
Yeah, because it's a tiny bit, and if it's a particularly toxic relationship, then you're brought back in by some kinds of moments of where it's amazing, or like some kindness or some kind of affection or love or whatever you cherish or value in that thing, and then you're like, wait, 99% of this is awful.
Yeah.
And yet then there's just enough to make you think, but that's the person I love.
Yeah.
And that's the real them. And this is just the horribleness I need to get through. And then it becomes really, really hard to manage. And I don't know what your experience with that was, but for me, it took a long time for me to sort of recover and actually regroup with regards to my sort of the way I viewed the world and myself in it as well. To go like,
I suppose with that kind of situation, you lose yourself, you lose your identity within that relationship. So when you come out of it, then all of a sudden you go, who am I now? Like, what? Am I still the same person that I was before this relationship? Like, how have I been impacted? How have I changed in this time? So
And the confusing thing of being up for me, it was like, I still love that person in spite of all of this. And you're like, this is fucking horrible. Like, this doesn't make any sense. It was brutal.
I think mine was always, in both of the situations I'm thinking about, mine was very much a case of me going, I'm like, I'm a Disney adult, so I'm all about romance. I'm all about the fairy tale of it and wanting to be in a place where people feel happy and hopeful and joyful. And in those situations, the worse they got, the more I tried to find hope and go, if I do this, then maybe that will change it and make it better for them. And actually, in both of my longest term relationships, I ended up throwing myself under a bus to make sure that person felt okay. And in the end of it, I was a massive part in destroying those relationships, because I got to a point where I just went, I can't deal with this anymore. I'm being hopeful, and every time I'm being hopeful, I'm being slapped down again. And it is a two-sided thing. Like, in both those situations, one of those relationships, I was really in love with the person, and I completely screwed it up in the end, because I was like, this doesn't feel healthy. I'm not happy. I don't know how to change it. And I'm also not mature enough to make the call that I need to make. So ruined it. The second one, on the back of that, I then went, I really want to try and make this work. So I was accepting some real bullshit behaviour. You just kind of go,
the topic isn't funny, but the delivery was amazing.
But I can also laugh at it now when you go back in time and go, I don't consider myself an unintelligent human, and I like to think I've got enough self-respect. And then I look back and go, oh, I was really being treated like a doormat there. Really, and I was okay with that. I was like, yeah, that's fine. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Kick me in the face. Yeah. And again, keep it coming.
Other side.
One more. Come on.
But then bizarrely was in a situation like that I was like, wasn't in love with that person, but was trying to make the situation work to prove to myself I could do it. Yeah. And actually, it was kind of self-harm, because I was going, I know this is bad. And people around me were like, you're an adult now. There's no excuse. But then I also think that's why it's taken me so long to realistically date again and trust people again, because I think when you go through that, it does fundamentally change you, and you do then go, I know that I'm someone that will compromise way too much way too quickly, and just go, yeah, do what you want, I'll make sure you're happy. So I've had to kind of grow as a human and get to a point where I go, we've all got to compromise, and we should, especially in partnerships. But and also, I don't think whenever people go, it's got to be 50-50, I'm like, it will never be 50-50, because we're humans. So actually, one day it might be that they're giving you 10% and you have to provide 90%, but that's a relationship. Yeah. And then it'll change, but it has to do that. And if it's not, that's your issue. And I was always the person that was like, oh, I'm doing 100%. Yeah. And the thing, no, okay, I'll carry on. Ignore me. Yeah, but it's interesting, isn't it? It's made me really have to grow and change. I worry now, though, that I've got to a point where I've become a little bit, I'm romantic in the sense that I still look at other people and go, oh, I love these relationships. I'm surrounded by people that are married and have got babies, and I'm like, oh God, I'm so happy for everyone. I worry now that I'm disassociating a little bit and going, I don't see myself in that situation. And actually, I love it. Like, having a partner is amazing on a good day and a bad day. But now my journey is, I need to find a way to allow myself to see myself in romance again, and not just go, this is lovely. I'm going to sit over here and watch you and cheer.
Also, maybe that's quite a positive way to be in that space. You know, rather than searching for the fairy tale, then perhaps you can be open to see what arrives. Maybe, you know. And I thought, just to jump back to, you said, I'm a Disney adult. I love that you said that.
That's a great turn of phrase,
because it's a very popular turn of phrase now. But people like to shit on adults who like Disney, right? Like, it feels like
it's disgusting.
And I saw, this was a while ago, but I saw a little thing about it being like, basically saying, people love shitting on Disney adults, and you're like, the world is full of so much misery and hatred and arguments. And like, if somebody takes joy from something, why are you trashing that joy in any way, shape or form? Yeah. Whether it be Disney or whether it be, like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of nerdy things I like, with which there's loads, like wrestling or whatever it might be. You're like, Why are you shitting on it? They're like, it makes them happy. It's not harming anyone.
And also, it's none of your fucking business. Leave me alone. I'm quite happy, thanks. Yeah. I also think it's fundamentally, when people are, and I'm not going to get on my soapbox about Disney because they'll go on for days, but fundamentally, someone said to me once, what is it that you really like about Disney? And I'm like, what I like about going to a Disney park is I'm totally aware of the commercialism. I know that I'm being played. I know that I'm basically bending over and taking it and going, yeah, I'll give you all my money. You have what you want. But what you're doing in that situation is you're going to a place where everybody is in a happy mood, where things are clean and things are functioning, and there are people that are making that situation happen. And if that is a little moment where you can go there for a week and go, I don't need to worry about real life, I think that escapism is okay. And I think to say that's not okay makes me go, why do I have to live in a world where the only thing I can do is be realistic? Sometimes you need to survive, go, I've got to escape, whether that be a book, a movie, a concert, whatever.
How is that different from watching a musical?
Yeah.
That's kind of like people who go and watch a musical go because they want the joy of it or the experience or to be told a story, etc. All of those things apply. Plus, there are rides. Yeah. I'm like,
and now drinks as well.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
As an adult. Yeah. Oh wow, Mickey is really good when you're drunk. Voice is definitely better. Yeah. We haven't really spoken anything about like career stuff since that, so I'll mildly swap our tangent back. Yeah. But realistically, we don't need to. We got to enjoying those the Latin and ballroom.
Yes.
How did you get from that to Mount View?
So kind of a weird journey, really, because by the time I got to 14, 15, 16, I was very much, again, was really lucky. I had amazing people around me that were kind of very good at what they did. So I was at this dance school with the principal was a woman called Shirley, spelt Shirlee. So she was like fancy Shirley.
Ooh, Shirley.
Yeah. And I was very, very lucky because I was in a place where there were very few boys / male presenting people there. So they pushed me a lot, really got energy behind me and made me do everything. So there wasn't a class that they wouldn't put me in. I was doing all the festivals, I would do shows, and she worked me really hard. She was tough on me, but in a way that was kind of, she knew I could take. Which actually is where my beginnings of, do you know the expression penis points? Of course you do.
I actually don't.
I don't know the expression penis points.
So penis points, essentially.
Hold on. Cool. Should we guess what it is? Yeah.
Go on.
No, that's a slippery slope.
Yeah.
No, that's not what a penis point is.
Oh, God.
That's Bobby's guess. It's a slippery slope.
Slippery slope is. I mean, that could be a penis point.
Yeah.
So it's that thing of you constantly achieving more because you're male.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Penis points.
Yeah.
Yes.
I said this to my mum a couple of weeks ago and she was like, I'm sorry, what? I was like, penis points, She's like, no, I never want to hear that again. Thank you very much. But it was...
Male-leaning bias. Penis points is way better.
Yeah. I know the world we live in and I'm fully aware of privilege. But when you're in theatre and you're in that place where I was working away very, very hard and I would go to a dance festival and I can remember Mum once saying, don't worry, darling, you came third, Graham won because he's a boy. And I look back at it and go, no, at the time, I won that one because I was better than you and because I'd probably worked harder to get to that point. Do I think that there is a push for diversity and inclusion in education? 100%. And if we look at what I'm doing now, do we make sure that we're trying to be inclusive? Totally. Does that always mean that the only reason you're achieving is because of that? No, absolutely not. You still have to fight hard. You still have to work hard to get there. And that's kind of the beginning of my relationship with that. And it used to drive me nuts, especially because Shirley, the dance school principal, and my mum were both very real about what I was doing at the time. I can remember winning a competition once and coming off stage and Shirley said to me, well done, very good, but your bum looks absolutely massive, so no more potatoes. And I just went, okay, good, yeah, that's shat right on that win, I'll carry on, good. And this was a while ago. And then I can remember my mum once, me going on and being one of the first solos I did. And I'd gone on stage, practiced it, but got halfway through, totally forgotten what I was doing, and then made it up and improvised the rest of it. Whacked a leg, danced that silly.
So you think you can dance last 5 seconds?
Oh, I mean, totally, absolutely, pure desperation of being
there
on stage. Probably jumping into a spin.
Yeah.
Definitely jumping into a spin. Always, I was like, if I'm panicking, I'll just bounce up and down from it. Came off stage, and my mum went, well done, you won that. Didn't necessarily deserve to because she couldn't remember your solo, but you did win, so well done. And I was like, yeah, she's right. She's totally right. Other students that had probably practiced a bit more and could remember what they were doing should have beat me, but they didn't. But I had people around me that were very realistic. So then when you hear someone go, he won because he was a boy, it kind of broke my heart a little bit. And I was like, is that true? Am I not, is that why I'm achieving? And then it kind of made me put gas in the tank and just made me push. So I had them driving me in dance. I joined a company, it was a stagecoach, but not stagecoach. And it was the junior version of the Operatic Society, and we did musicals. So I had this amazing woman called Alex Hinton, who was the director, and she would put me in like little parts here and there. I think my first one I did was I was a stage door Johnny in Calamity Jane.
Brilliant.
I know, starring role, obviously very important. Probably trying to hold on to pitch at some point. I think I had one line, and it was, hilariously, if you gave a man a wish, 10 to 1, he would wish for that one perfect girl. Now, looking at me now, the irony of me singing that line is just brilliant. So they were pushing me musical theatre, and then I joined a group called Toggy. And they were like slightly more intense. They were this kind of talented kids, that really good singers, really good actors. And a woman called Bet was there, and she taught me a lot of my early singing work. Fantastic group. Toggy stood for the Theatre of Gifted Youth. Pause for you being sick in your mouth. That's totally acceptable. Disgusting,
Gifted
right?
Youth.
The Theatre of Gifted Youth. However, I've got to say, the people that I was with there, they were all fantastic. Still gross, but fine. So I had a lot of people from different angles pushing me forward. About 14, 15, I started going to summer schools, and I went to Lane Theatre Arts and did 2 summer schools there. Fell in love. I just walked in the building and went, this is amazing. Feels a bit like Fame. There's people bouncing around, people dancing, backflipping. Everyone looks amazing. Like, the energy is fantastic. Fell in love. Did a couple of summer schools and went, yeah, this is what I'm going to do. I want to be a dancer. I want to go to Lanes. Why wouldn't I? Amazing. Then did that thing of going through programs and was like circling lanes. Who's been there? All these wonderful people. And then at 16, I was then like, right, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm going to go to Lanes. I'm going to go in. It'll be wonderful. Can't wait. Closer it got to August, September time, the more I was like, I'm totally not ready for this. I'm a bumpkin in Shrewsbury. I need a bit more time to kind of cook. So by the time it got to that summer, I went, can't get at 16. This isn't happening. I'm going to do my A-levels. Stayed in Shrewsbury, did my A-levels. By the time I was 18, my brain had changed, and the dance was still there, and I still loved it, but I was then singing more, and I was doing more character work, and I suddenly went, I want a different thing. And I think Lanes is amazing for the dance stuff. There are other places. So I started going to arts ed summer schools. Totally fell in love. Again, walked in the building, was like, this is amazing. I want to be here all the time. Worked with some gorgeous people, teachers and other students that were just, it felt like we were taking it seriously again. And again, by 16 to 18, I kind of was a bit more formed and kind of felt more comfortable in that situation anyway. Did a couple of summer schools, get to 18, started doing auditions, and was like, I don't need to look anywhere else. Going to arts ed, that's what I'm going to do. So auditioned, got my place, and was like, brilliant, tick, lovely, I can just chill out now, it's fine. And then I went and auditioned at Mount View. Walking in, knowing a bit about it, aware of people that had been there, but didn't know a lot. At the time, it was still up in Wood Green, so it was like, it was filthy. It was like a filthy shed with some windows.
Compared to arts ed at that time.
Totally.
Yeah.
And even how I walked in on the day and I went, I'm in a car park, what's this going to be? Started working with the teachers and just totally fell in love. At the time, Paul Sabey was still there, who I just like, to this day, I'm petrified of him, but I've never wanted to seek someone's approval more because he was just like fantastic. Had that line of being really strict, and you trusted him because you felt like you could, but didn't suffer fools. Like, our first singing classes were basically, he would make us pitch and he would play like intervals and would press it and go, sing it back to me. No. And you'd just be like, this is wild. But
it's terrifying.
Absolutely terrifying. But because it was him, you just went, God, I just want to get it right. The teachers there were fantastic. In the audition, I went, this feels really lovely and it feels like we're working really hard. What did I sing? I sang I'm Not Saying a Word from Blood Brothers, which is still a thorn in my side. It's the one part that I didn't play that I'm like, I'd have to play Eddie in Blood Brothers by the time I die. And I'm still going to do it. I'll find it. And then I did Sweet Transvestite from Rocky Horror Picture Show. I have no idea why. I don't know why that was the right choice. But I just thought, I've got a sense of humour about it, let's do it. And they worked it in the room. The studios were gross. It was busy, but it was kind of like not too busy. People weren't glossy in the way that they were at other colleges. And I just fell in love, totally fell in love. Went home, obsessed about it, and was like, I'm going to be really upset if I don't get a place. Got a place, and then was like, I don't see anything else. I have to go there. It's going to be perfect. Went there in the September and kind of had It was incredible. It was an incredible experience. The time I was there was wild because it was a period in time where a lot of people went through the college that were brilliantly talented. So like my year was Alice Fearn, Laura Pitt-Pulford, Emma Lindars, Lara Denning, Connie Fisher, Fran Jackson, Jeff Nicholson, Nate Morrison. The year above was John Robbins, Rebecca Traherne,
bloody hell,
Kelly Price. So it was all these like...
I don't know any of those.
Phenomenal people. You'd hate them all. But it was like bonkers the amount of talent that was in the building. And actually, what was amazing about those human beings was they were talented, but they were also really, really good humans. Like I always say to students that I teach now, what I loved about being at Mount View at that time was all of us were so ambitious, but it didn't seem, from my point of view, maybe that's the fairest way to say it, it didn't seem as competitive. It seemed like everyone was very, very different. There were maybe nearly 30 of us in the year, and all the girls were so different with what they could do. Like you had like a Connie who was a soprano. You had Alice who at the time was known for being a belty person, has also got a killer soprano, but you didn't know that. You just went, everyone's so different. So by the time we got to our third year show and we started casting, you kind of went, well, everyone's catered for and no one's really competing with each other. So let's just put on amazing shows and let's just make sure it's really good stuff. And because of that, it felt really healthy, and you never went into college and weren't inspired. Like ATS for me, I would sit in a room now and watch those people. Like if I think about who I was watching.
People would pay good money to go.
Oh, crikey, and they do.
Like,
it was wild. And it was just wonderful to go. Everyone's so inspiring. From a male point of view, there were maybe 8 or 9 of us. And again, we were all really different. We all went in with very different skill sets. It was also the beginning of a journey with me about rebranding what I could do, really. Because I went in there and I knew that I could dance well. I'd done that for years, and I'd probably had the most validation from that in the things that I'd done. I knew that I could do that. I went in and went, I'm coming here because I want to really work on my voice and I really want to act more. Like for me, acting's always been my drive, whether that be in dance, vocals, whatever. That's where I go, I'm interested because that's how you make people feel stuff. Yeah. If you're just doing big notes or high kicks,
nobody cares.
No one cares. Yeah. Which actually is something I think we're missing at this point, but we'll get on there in a minute. And it was bonkers to be with those people. It was hard, but it was great. Going in with danceability was a dirty word. Paul Sabey was like, you're not dancing. Like, you can do that in dance classes, but if we get to projects and things like that, there was no promotion of that. And to begin with, it drove me nuts. We did chorus line in first year, second year. We did chorus line with Ian Good, the gorgeous Ian Good. And I was cast as Don. And I sat there and was like, but I can dance. Like, this is the one time that I don't feel like I'm the one struggling in the room. And you can give me a moment where I can do that, and I can do it. Yeah. And I can go, yeah, great. I deserve to be here as well.
But the point was, you could already do it.
Yes. Now I realise that. And now I'm really grateful. And he's the first of many people that have done that to me in my career. But gets to chorus line, we do, Don gets cart. So but what's hilarious is we obviously had external people coming in and choreographing. Can't remember who the choreographer was, and that's dreadful because it would have been someone lovely, but I can't remember. And they put me in the front of the groups because I knew what I was doing and was comfortable, and there were people there that were phenomenal vocalists that hadn't danced before. So I'm then at the front of the groups going, lovely, I'm doing all the dance stuff, knowing full well that Don's going to get cut. Anyway, we get to the end, and in the end, Ian shifted it around and Don made it. So it could be the only chorus line that Don's ever made the job, because I was a bit like, can't really cut you and be the only person doing ballet stuff. Me and Laura Denning it was, bouncing around at the front doing ballet stuff. Hilarious. But now it makes sense. Even when we got to third year and he started casting things, there were bits that I would go, surely I'm going to be, no, I'm not doing that. Okay, fine. I'm going to do something else. We did Carousel, and I was convinced that I'd get to do the Dream Ballet. I was like, great, surely you're going to show me off. And it wasn't me. I was Jigger. So it was completely opposite.
You said that and I was like, I would absolutely put you as Jigger. I don't know. I was like, I would want to see that.
Because I'm an evil criminal. Is that what you're saying? That's totally okay.
No, I just think because that role also has a physicality to it.
Yeah.
But it is more acting driven, I think, from that point.
I mean, I loved it. And we did it with Matt Ryan, who is so intense, beautiful, so intense. And again, he was the first person that I think pulled me off and was like, you've got to find a sense of humour in vanity. You can't let everything be held and poised in the way that you're used to doing from a dance point of view. You have to break it down. And I can remember us doing Carousel, day one, he brought in a fish, and we were in a studio in the chocolate factory, and he basically made us throw around a fish and then leave it there and was like, it won't be cleaned up because we're in Maine and they would smell this every single day. So now we're going to leave it there. And we were all like, this is absolutely bonkers, but sure, we trust you, so let's go with it. Then about 2 weeks into it, he wanted me to smoke as jigger, and I was not a smoker. So gave me these roll-ups and was like, you can, and I was pretending to do it in my best, what I think Marlon Brando would look like having a cigarette. Awful moment. And then he came over to me one day and we were having a break and he went, every time I go out for a cigarette, I want you to come with me and you're going to smoke one of these roll-ups. They were like nicotine free, but he was like, come out and smoke it. And I can remember being like, God, this feels really scary, but sure. So I started doing that and then felt like I was getting a bit more confident in that like dirtier character. And then about 3 days later, he came up to me again in front of a room full of people. We had a little tea and coffee stand in the corner. And he just went, you're still worried about how you look and you can't because that's not what he is. Jigger should have a sexuality there where people fancy him and he gets laid a lot, but he's not concerned about that because he knows he's comfortable in his own skin. So he's not thinking about looking pretty. And so what I want you to do is I want you to spit in your hands. And at this point I was like, where is this going? What do you mean? Sure. I want you to spit in your hands. I want you to get some coffee out of the coffee pot, smear it in your hands and put it on your face. And I laughed. And he went, no, Graham, I want you to do this because we need to break this. You're being a dancer and and I was like, absolutely. I was like, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. Being very prissy and proper. And he went, I'm asking you to do it. This is going to be the right way to go. I want you to do it. And I felt really like I really trusted him. And he asked us to be really open and vulnerable with him. But he made us feel very safe in that space. Challenging, but made us feel safe. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that. And he went, Graham, if you don't do that, if you don't spit in your hands and rub coffee in, put it on your face, I will spit in your hands. And I went, oh. So I went, okay, yeah, sure. Now, hilariously, would you get away with doing that in education right now? Not in a million years. Did it feel remotely unsafe? No, because what he was trying to get me to do worked and was right, and I did it and I put it on my face. I felt mortified and I walked into the middle of the space, started doing the scene, and I felt myself with a kind of like bubbly anger and a bit of a kind of like, right, I'm going to prove to you that I can do this and I can find it. And it was kind of amazing. And I ended up it was one of my favourite things I did at Mount View because it felt so, funnily enough, like it's funny that you say that you would consider that for me, but it felt like it fit on me perfectly. However, would I have said that looking at that piece on a piece of paper? Not in a million years. So there's me stood there with my coffee on my hands going, and it felt incredible, but it was kind of a wild experience.
Yeah.
Because I had to get rid of Graham being dancing and perfect and let it go.
Yeah.
Jump to one of the first jobs I did. I did Footloose in a UK tour, and I did it. It was the first job I ever did in a town, and Karen Bruce was choreographing it. And she rode me so hard on not letting things be too pretty and dancey. And at the time I was like, I just want you to let me dance. Like, you've employed me. You've put me in this job. I'm having a wonderful time. I love the choreography. I just want you to not make me be down and dirty. I mean, hilariously, it was me and a bunch of beautiful straight men in the cast. And what she was trying to do is go, you outside of work and you inside of work has to be different. Not that I'm overly theatrical all the time, but what that part wanted was me to be more down and dirty. So she'd completely changed how I danced, because doing that for a year and a half just made me go, I understand what you're getting at now. I hated it at the beginning because it felt like it was an attack on me. Yeah. Not on from a sexuality point of view or anything else like that. It wasn't that deep. But I just went, I like dancing like this and you don't want that.
Yeah.
And I had to then go, but that's not what it's about. It's about doing the job.
Yeah.
And it's about, am I able to do lots of different work?
And also your identity at that point has been tied to this since you were a kid and trying to dance in a specific way, and that's what you've achieved, and it's such a huge part of who you are that asking to be changed, even when 21, 22 at that point, it's still pretty young. Like, our sense of identity is not, we don't really know, or at least in my experience, like who you are at that point, that might feel like a personal criticism. Only because there's so much I want to talk to you about, and we have so little time, but through all of these wonderful actual forming jobs, by the way, we do an intro at the start in which we've told everybody all the wonderful things. So don't worry about that. Not that you looked worried at all. of all of these performing jobs that we've been through, obviously loads and loads of physical stuff, that's a huge background and a long career. How have you managed to take care of your body during that time and on those gigs? How did you do it?
Honestly, it's been so different job by job. And what I think is interesting is some of that work is built into the job. Doing something like Cats, I was doing it every day. So we did a 3-hour version of that job, and actually going in and warming up for that, I had to do it to prepare for the job. I also had to cool down because throwing yourself on and off things and through holes over people all the time. When I did that job, I was 30 years old. So I had to be careful about how I was coming down off of that afterwards. When I did Cats, I did it on the Oasis of the Seas for Royal Caribbean. So I was also on a boat, and I was also going, I've got time around that I can think about how I'm going to look after my body. At that point in time, I'd kind of gone, I need to think about bigger picture stuff. Can I throw myself around like this for a million years, or do I need to think about how to modify what I'm doing? Funnily enough, on the ship, there was a running track around the outside of deck 4, and purely to kind of keep my cardio up and to keep my brain going, because you go a bit stir crazy, I started running. And it became something that I would do at like 11 o'clock at night, midnight, open ocean, and just running around with some music. And it was the most therapeutic thing I've ever done. Getting off the ship, I've kept that going. And then about 2 years after I got back, I ran my first marathon. And it was just nice to have that kind of thing of going. I know a lot of people struggle with running because they think it's boring. What I enjoy about it is the monotony of your feet going, I find quite calming. There's something a bit metronomic about going, okay, this kind of holding space, holding rhythm kind of calms me down. Yeah. So that's become a massive part of what I've done ever since. And even now, if I get to a point where I feel panicky or anxious, or I've had a bad day or even a really good day, I will go for a run or a jump on treadmill, and I'll find that time.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at taking lunch hours. And recently I've basically said to myself, I'm going to go and do a 5K at lunch. And that means that for 28 minutes, unless you're going to keep up with me, no one can ask me questions or send me emails, I'm just going to keep on going.
Yeah.
And it's like me time in the middle of the day. I struggle to do it because, especially in education, you're so tied to going, somebody needs me immediately, so I'm going to give them that. I've now got to a point where I've had to go, I'm going to go.
Yeah, that thing, and actually, I don't know if you've found the same thing, that the fear of like being needed, because you are needed. If you were there, that whole lunchtime goes. But if you do disappear for the 25 minutes, actually, it's okay.
Yeah.
And the thing is there when you come back. Want to do...
Yeah. Is there anything about the industry or about health and wellness or anything at all that you'd like to see get in the bin?
A couple of things. From a health and fitness point of view, the biggest fad that I always makes me feel uncomfortable and weird is things like juice cleansing and stuff like that, where it's so intense. I tried it once. I did a 5-day juice cleanse. On day 3, I felt really tired and thought I was going to shit my pants, and then went and had a Big Mac and was like, that's the end of that, then I'm not going to do that. It doesn't work for me. But it's that kind of faddy thing.
It doesn't work.
Yeah.
You don't need the for me.
The whole idea of a change.
It's not real.
It doesn't. It's not real.
And it's a weird pressure, because I think everything that I've done in my life that is health and well-being related, that has stuck, and that I've gone, I can make this as part of my lifestyle, has to be a lifestyle thing. And doing something for 5 days and going, but why is that not working? You're not building it in. January before this, I went vegetarian for a month and was like, I'm going to do it for a month and see if I can just improve how I feel about body. That's stuck this is now just over a year that I've done it. But it was only through saying to myself, I'm going to do this for a month and see how I feel. And if I want to have a cheeseburger, I'll do that. And I haven't wanted it, so I've carried that going. But it was purely in a very safe space of going, there's no fail here.
Yes.
If I do decide to do that, that's totally fine. I haven't wanted to, but that's because there isn't pressure.
Yeah.
I think anything where it's faddy is tricky. And also I find from a dance perspective, because we put ourselves in front of mirrors all the time, and actually I struggle with it more than I think I have before in many ways. At 40 years old, being at the front of a room and teaching people, I am surrounded by very young, beautiful people. It's disgusting. It should be banned. They shouldn't be allowed to be on the same mirror as me. When you're in front of those mirrors, I think you do analyze all the time, and it makes us bully ourselves and beat ourselves up. And actually, you're not necessarily thinking about how you feel, you're thinking about how you look. And I think they're, again, very different things to chase. I always feel like I feel best and I feel most powerful when I'm going, am I making sensible, healthy choices? Am I eating properly? Am I counterbalancing the alcohol with enough water and the rest of it? When that becomes something that I'm going, how do I feel? Do I feel energized? Do I feel powerful? Do I feel ready to do my day? My self-esteem's better. The second I start going, what do I look like in this? My self-esteem falls on the floor.
Yeah.
And I've never been great with that anyway. Self-esteem has always been one of those things for me that I've struggled with and gone, I've never found a place where I've felt truly comfortable, even now. And again, for a multitude of reasons, but have I felt powerful? That's a different thing. And that comes just from being kind to myself in those situations.
I think so. I think that's great advice as well to people listening or maybe starting out in their careers, that like, rather than chasing how you look, because I think you know now very well when people come in and audition for drama schools, wherever you've worked, or even being on panels or the company that you have, you're like, when somebody feels that way, it comes out of them in performance, in that it's like, I'm not watching you be concerned about what you look like. It's funny that harks back to what you said when you first graduated too, or in college, that you're like, it's not about what you look like, it's about what you're doing as a character. And what they're trying to do, unless your character is obsessed with how they look. But realistically, I mean, it might be the odd musical nowadays that does have a few characters like that, but in general, that's, I think, super useful advice of going, hey, let's feel confident and powerful and strong, and then we're good.
I love that.
And it's about finding peace, isn't it? Like, you don't have to be anything now. Like, there's castability for everything, but it's about castability. And if you're at peace with where your castability is and the jobs you're getting or the things you're being put forward for, then it's fine. My issue is always, if people turn around to me and they say, I want to lose this or I want to gain this, the reasoning for that has to be about castability. And it has to be about feeling good in your own skin, and you have to find peace. If you're driving for that, I can remember a friend a long time ago who got cast in a job, and then she lost an absolute ton of weight, went in for her rehearsals, and they turned around and they went, but that's not what we cast. What we cast was exactly how you were before, and that was perfect. And now you've come in a different version of you, and that's maybe not so perfect. And it is about finding peace. That's a hard thing to do. I mean, again, we all have days, whether we're 20, whether we're 40, whether we're 60, we have moments where that peace is there and moments when it really isn't. But that's what I think we should be striving for. Do I feel comfortable in my own skin?
I love that.
Love that.
We're going to look away from you.
Okay.
And we need to guess whether you have successfully lied during the episode. And for listeners, I think they need to harken back across the episode to wonder. I think we're going to agree on this one, Bobby.
Okay.
I don't think Graham's lied.
I don't think he's lied either. There was one moment that I thought, oh, could this be?
Which was? Do you remember?
Which was when you said that your brother loves to talk, well, doesn't loves to, but talks in his sleep a lot.
And the grandpa bit.
Yeah, I thought that little story potentially
could be the one.
lie. That was the only one that I was
Should we go with has lied and it's that?
Yeah, why not?
I'll come with you. Graham, did you successfully tell us a lie?
No, I totally failed.
Totally
failed. Terrible. Awful.
No,
terrible.
It was captivating.
It was. Let's play a game. So we're going to play a game of this or that. It's going to be 1 minute on the clock. Stefan, I'll give you two options. You've got to pick one of them as quickly as possible to get through it.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go.
Eggs or bacon?
Eggs.
White bread or brown bread?
Brown bread.
Friends or the US office?
Friends.
Cardio or resistance training?
Cardio.
McDonald's or Burger King?
McDonald's.
Singing or acting?
Acting.
Cardiff or London?
Cardiff.
Yoga or Pilates?
Yoga.
Family Guy or Love Island?
Family Guy.
Domino's Pizza or Papa John's?
Oh, Domino's.
Sport or dance?
Dance.
Alcohol or chocolate?
Oh, absolutely alcohol.
Matching socks or mismatching socks?
Matching socks.
Coke or Pepsi?
Coke.
Game of Thrones or Glee?
Game of Thrones.
Books or Kindle?
Books.
Clean shaven or beard?
On me? Clean shaven.
Personal chef or personal stylist?
Say again?
Personal chef or personal stylist?
Oh, personal stylist.
Opening night or press night?
Opening night.
Sexy or smart?
Smart.
Shower or bath?
Shower.
Spamalot or cat?
Spamalot.
Dogs or babies?
Dogs.
Snakes or badgers?
Snakes.
Theme park or water park?
Theme park.
Running or walking?
Running.
Director or choreographer?
Director.
Bobby or Stefan?
Both.
Hey!
Preferably together.
Hey, a little sandwich there. Graham, thank you so much. What was our time on that, Bobby?
1 minute 7.
Ooh, we went over.
That was you though, not me, right?
Yeah, let's put that as Stefan's story.
And I did have to repeat. Obviously, my diction wasn't clear. That's not Sheffield Business Stylist.
I was overexcited. I put pressure on it.
Dude, thank you so much for joining us, Graham.
Thanks so much. Lovely to see you.
It's been so fab. We haven't scratched the surface of a whole bunch of other stuff we could have chatted about.
Yeah.
And thank you at home or wherever you might be for listening.
Yep. And if you've enjoyed this episode, click those like and subscribe buttons. Find us on Instagram at Fit to Perform West End. As always, if you've got any questions you want answered, you know what to do. Slip slide into those DMs. I'll be in there in a Disney theme park.
Hey! Thanks again for listening. And if you like what you've heard, we have been the Fit2 Perform podcast with our wonderful guest, Graham Newell, and your hosts, me, Stefan.
And me, Bobby. And if you didn't like it, we've been Joe Wicks. Peace out.